Hey guys, welcome back to another Azure gaming video, and this video is going to be about Diverti. It's going to be about his CMR, SMR, vision card, normal form, British form, and how do you build him, how to use him, and should you pull for him. Alright, so let's go. His CMR and SMR. So Diverti's CMR is called Doom Train Successor. Boosts LB damage by 25, also boosts equipment spirit by 50% when armed with two one-hand weapons. So spirit true dual wield 50%, LB damage 25. So this is quite unique as it gives spirit true dual wield. It's a top tier TMR since there are only a few pieces of equipment that gives spirit true dual wield. Most of them are SMRs from limited units. It could be useful on Melia, our spirit based tank, and NV Swangwoo and King Long, maybe next year, hopefully. Alright, so his SMR is called Vengeance Cards, Magic and Spirit 164, kind of low there, but it's a hybrid stat. Activate Leader's Successor, boost LB damage by 50%. So another 50% LB damage on top of that 25 his CMR gives. So Diverti's SMR is very useful on himself since he can only equip throwing weapons. There aren't any really a lot of throwing weapons with high flat mags, so this is really good on him. He can also use it in his normal form where he wants spirit instead of mag. So it could also be useful on Ibarra if you have her, because she can equip throwing weapons and she is scales with her mag. Next is Vision Card, the one I love. This is the same card as the Corral's vision card, so it's really not great on Diverti himself because this is an attack-based vision card. Alright, so the best vision card for him would be Demon Who Learned Humanity from Ibarra, or Heartless Sage from NV Soul. Alright, so or any magic-based vision card. Alright. This video is sponsored by Amazon Coins. Get 10,000 Amazon coins for $80 instead of $100. That's a savings of 20%. You can use the Amazon coins to buy Lapis for FFBE. I placed a link in the description below. Check it out after you watch the video. Okay, so normal form, Diverti is a physical mage that scales with his spirit stat. He's also a magic tank and a support in normal form. So, hybrid role in normal form. He has a lot of stuff he can do. So let's go down to the list. He can increase his own mag and spirit by 300. He can increase earth damage by 15% to self. Not really the highest earth damage boost, but he can increase that to himself. He can also imbue earth to himself because his attacks all are non-elemental. He can cover all allies from magic 80% of the time with 55 to 65% damage mitigation. Kind of average there, but he can do that. He's not the best magic tank, but you can use him as a magic tank. He can mitigate general damage 75% and magic damage by 50% to himself. He can also increase wind and earth resistance by 60 to himself because he can cover magic. Mitigate general damage by 90%, so really good skill here. It's a Magnus, one use only. 90% to all allies except himself. It also increases LB gauge by 15 to all allies, and it also casts Provoke on himself for one turn. So essentially, it's a skill for going through threshold attacks. Alright, so 10 increase wind and earth resistance to all allies by 80%, 4-turn cooldown. Really nice wind and earth buff there at 80%. He can also mitigate magic damage taken to all allies by 75, so he has general damage mitigation and magic mitigation. Also increase spirit by 250 to all allies on a 4-turn cooldown. Alright, so last, he can deal magic damage using physical type attack, kind of similar to Benevolent Beauty Rem, or a Wildcard Ace, or Neo Vision Lastwell, or Neo Vision Vivi. So they're physical type attacks that does magic damage, but his scales with her spirit stat. So if you want to use him as a damage healer in normal form, equip him for as much spirit as possible. This is single target and it has bolting strike chains. Next is she can deal magic damage using a physical type again, physical type attack again that scales with his spirit to all enemies. This is just his LB. It has Protector's Bayonet chains. That is triple bolting strike chains. Alright, so triple bolting strike for his LB in normal form. And lastly, the LB gives general mitigation to all allies by 50% LB. So it's kind of low compared to his Magnus, but he can also only use his Magnus once per battle. Alright, so that's it for Diverti's normal form. Normal form passive, so his normal attack turns into a single target magic based attack that scales with his LB spirit, and its bolting strike chains. It also imperils Earth by 100%. So if we equip with STMR or STMR, he gains magic and spirit true dual wield 150%, so you only need 50% more to cap that. He has all stats 60% bonus. He can innately dual wield. He has 100% chain cap modifier increase, so 100% shy of cap. He has also LB damage 150%. 140 mag when equipped with a throwing weapon, so you're gonna be equipping his STMR anyway, so you can only proc that. He is 100% petrify immune. He has 50% wind and earth impel, 20% fire and ice, lightning, and water resistance, not impel. And he has 200% physical and magic insect killer. So really good against insect enemies, but they are kind of rare. Miscellaneous passives, he has 7% MP refresh, 3 auto LV, 30% magic evade, that could be useful since he is a magic tank, and 50% passive provoke. So you can also equip him with Moogle Charm so he can 100% passive provoke if you want him to. So equipment pool, he can only equip throwing weapons, kind of sad, but you can equip material on him if you want to equip him with rods or saves. And he can equip all types of armor, including heavy armor, so we'll get into that later. Alright, so Brave Shift form, Diverti turns into an Earth Evoke LB Damage healer and Brave Shift form, so similar to NV Terra or NV Lunafreya or NV Faris. Faris's case is vice versa. Alright, so he can increase his own mag again and spirit by 300, increase earth damage and imbue earth. He can also deal earth magic damage that scales with his magic to all enemies, Chaos Wave Awakened, and he can also imperil earth resistance to all enemies by 130, so it also has CWA frames. Really high earth imperil there. Cover all allies from magic, so he can still cover magic cover in Bracer form. He can deal dark evoke damage to one enemy. This is Chaos Wave, so I'm not sure who's gonna chain with him, but he can do that, dark evoke damage. Mitigate general damage by 90%, so his Magnus is still accessible in BS form if you want. He can also increase LB damage by 250 to himself, similar to NV Terra, 250 to uses, so you can only make use of the 250 buff for one turn. And then increase LB gauge by 60 to himself, so fully fill his LB gauge for the next turn so he can fire it off. And then he can also deal Earth Evoke damage to all enemies LB. So it's a finisher skill. You can finish a chain with that Evoke skill to all enemies. And then lastly, the LB applies an area effect that boosts Earth physical damage by 25% to ally field and to enemy field. So Earth physical damage healers will benefit from this. The only other unit that can do this is NV Faris when summoning Golem, I think. But she is wind based, so basically if you want an Earth team, mono team Earth, you bring Diverti, he can boost the physical damage by 25. Alright, so moving on to his passives in Bracer form, his normal attack turns into a single target evoke damage attack, bolting strike chains again. Minus 100% earth resist. He still gains the magic true dual wield and spirit true dual wield 150% when he is procced. Trustmaster is procced. He gains a bunch of evoker stats. Evo mag at 200%, 100% shy of cap. Esper bonus stat 150%, and evoke damage 200%. So as you might have noticed, he has high evoke stats compared to other evoke damage healers who's either missing evo mag or evo damage. So you're not really gonna be hard pressed in finding equipment for him. He actually just needs his if you have Unalescus STMR, that he's good to go. Alright, so magic 140 when equipped with the throwing weapon. He has 100% petrify again, and he loses a bunch of elemental resistances. He only has 50% earth resistance. Killers, he maintains the 200% insect killer, and all his miscellaneous passives are still there. His equipment selection is still the same. All right, so in summary, he is pretty easy to build. He's not really equipment hungry. You can even equip the new Autumn World weapon on him, and he gains a bunch of evoke damage or evo mag from that throwing weapon. You can also run it from Item Worlds to get that special passive. Alright, so how do we build Diverti? So we want to use him as an evoke damage healer in Braveship form, so we equip his STMR. The Deck of Disquiet, that's from the Item World I was talking about. That's a throwing weapon, magic based, and also has spirit, so pretty much made for him. You can also equip him with Honorable Equip Rod if you want to equip him with a rod. Alright, so you can just replace one of the materia there if you want. So Rydia's headband from Pure Summoner Rydia, that's her STMR. Golbuz's armor, a really high flat mag armor. Heavy armor from Golbuz. So since Diverti can equip heavy armor, that is perfect on him, but you can equip any armor on him. Alright, Curse Doll for the flat mag, Healer Light for the flat mag again. You can also equip Raven's Heart if you want to cap out his magic to dual wield. Alright, I think Deck of Disquiet gives 50%. Oh, you can also equip Ibarra's STMR if you want the magic to dual wield. Alright, so abilities, Indestructible Light from Savior Soul's Lightning to cap his Chain Cap modifier. Originator of the Final Summoning for the Evoker stats. Lion's Heart for LB damage. Black Mage Slacker for LB damage again, and magic passives. And vision card is Heartless Sage. Alright, so this is a sample build. You can run him through the item build, FFB equip or item builder, unit builder, if you want to get his optimum build. Alright, so how do we use him? Diverti is very similar to NV Terra when used as an evoke damage healer. You start in BS form, buff his mag, earth damage, LB damage, and fill his LB gauge to max. And also you can include the Earth Imperil in his triple cast, so he can imperil the enemy by 130%. On the second turn, fire off his LB, build the chain, and finish it off with this LB. On turn 3, he will be forced back to normal form because Brave Shift duration is only 2 turns. You can continue doing damage or use him to cover magic or buff mitigation, whichever your team needs. So he'll be a great addition to an Earth team composed of King Behemi, Earth-based defense scaling damage healer, and physical tank. Cacteria for breaking stuff, and she can also deal Earth damage. And Elric Brothers, of course, with the Earth Amp. All of them have great synergy on an Earth team. So pretty much a collection of Earth-based units you can build a mono team on. So the extra 2 slots will be flexible. Could be Mastermind Son if you want, and a source of killer. Alright, so should you pull for Diverti? Diverti is for me the star of the banner. Corral is kind of niche, underwhelming, but Diverti, she is really good. So pull for him if you want an Earth Evoke Damage Healer who is easier to gear. So we already have a Light Evoke Damage Healer in Bahamut Fina, Fire in NV Terra, Wind in Edel and Faris, and Fire for Inferno Fire Rain. and water for Lunafreya. So this is the Earth Evoke Damage healer that we need. Alright, number 2, you want a unit that can provide an Earth physical damage boost, area effect, and don't have NV Faris. Next, you need a magic tank. If you're really struggling without a magic tank, he's a decent one, but there are better options like Shoreline, Daisy, and Fina. You want his STMR for Ibarra. For some reason, you have Ibarra. You want his STMR to put on her. Why not? You want to summon Doom Train using his BSLB. So his Brave Form LB is actually Doom Train. So if you played Final Fantasy VIII, you know Doom Train. I'm not sure which Final Fantasy Doom Train is present on, except FF8. So let me know in the comments where Doom Train appears again. And lastly, you want to build an Earth team with Bihimi, Cacteria, and Alec Brothers. Alright, that's it guys. Let me know if this was helpful, if you're pulling on Diverti, or if you're saving Lapis for future banners like FF7 Remake, for NV Tifa and NV Sephiroth. Alright, so if this was helpful guys, consider subscribing to the channel. That would really help. And also click the like button and also the notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos to the channel. Alright guys, thanks for watching again, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye bye.